Mic check.
Hey guys, good to see you, good to have you here. I'm Mike Landlot. I'm the owner of more than 216 local businesses across the Quad County Shelf, and I've been the executive co-scribe of the Skatchenash Valley Chamber of Commerce for the last 6 years. Now, you're listening to Small Business, a podcast where we talk about all the ins and outs and ups and downs of being a small business owner. There's a train passing. I don't know if I should wait for it or... Let me Google here. My Google's not working. In any case, you're listening to Small Business, and it's a podcast where we talk about, all the things that go into being a small business owner. But, that's just a jumping off point. We can talk about whatever. Just, as long as we're having fun. Talk about, the latest and greatest in scientific inventions. We can talk about, how we're feeling, what's going on in the world, what's going on in our communities. Just something funny, like about breakfast cereals or whatever, as long as we're having fun, right? You show up at a basketball court without a ball, that's not fun. Unless someone else brings it, you have to have a ball in order to have fun on the basketball court. Just in terms of playing basketball, we got to have some fun. For my part, I just spent a weekend up with the fam. I went up north and saw my nephews and nieces over the holiday. Which was great. It was relaxing. It was not relaxing. It was intense. It was fun. It was exciting. I took the little one sledding. Oh boy, it's been a couple years since I've gone out, and I did something to my knee. I don't know what it is, but it is screaming something awful, and anyway, but the kids loved it. The kids, oh boy, they were going so fast. I told them they were going fast. They were not going fast. It's my sister's kids. She's got a lot of them, 2 girls and 3 boys. And, so we had a good time other than me, feeling my age, as it were, out there on the sled slopes. It was great. We played Boggle. We saw the second Avatar movie, the newer one, The Way of Water. I thought it was amazing. I hadn't seen it, They really took the, they got everybody loved the first one. It was just, it's you're just rooting for the cat people. They look like blue cats. I don't remember I think they're called the Ravel. I don't remember what they're called, but they I think it begins with a K actually. But the blue cat people, they're just, it's their bows and arrows up against the giants of the humanity. And anyway, but this one is different. They're showing that they can't, it's not just only that they can climb floating mountains and stuff like that to like honor and cherish their ancestral lineage and their customs as a people, but they can go underwater. They can hold their breath for a very long time, and they're swimming with whales. Well, not normal whales, but the whales that are normal for their planet. They're swimming with them. doing all kinds of incredible feats. It starts to make you wonder, like what is it that we're not getting into as people? Makes you kind of want to get out there and experience more stuff on our planet, At least that's how it made me feel. But then again, I'm a sentimental type, So we saw Avatar: The Way of Water, and my nephew fell asleep. He'd taken some of those marijuana gummies, and he was done. He was just done. My God, he leaned back in his chair, and his mouth was wide open, pointed straight at the ceiling. You could have put a live fish in there. He wouldn't have moved. For a while, I thought he was dead. I kept putting my hand over his mouth, to make sure he was breathing. And meanwhile, there's, this glorious spectacle of movie magic happening on the screen. He's missing the whole thing, But, James Cameron has really built quite a brand over there at his studio. The Ravelin people are just beloved. You're just rooting for him, even though, you are a human. You're sitting there going, God, kill those people, kill them all, get them out of here. That's at least that's the way I see it. What else? We went down to the supper club. That was good. That was real good. They I hadn't been there in several years. They replaced all the old wood paneling, so it looks nice and fresh inside. They brought in all new wood paneling. It's virtually identical to the wood paneling they had in there before, but it's brand new. It just looks fresh. It smells good. Of course, they still have all the taxidermies on the wall, all the look, there's a 10-point buck, elk, moose, beaver, deer, just kind of everything you can imagine. For some reason, they have a stuffed alligator, which I've always thought was pretty cool. I used to see it back there when I was a kid, and I'd say, oh, look at this. Look at this guy. And I'd say to my grandpa, hey, Pop, where'd they, I'd go down the line. I wonder who shot this one. And he'd say, oh, that was Jim Callahan. And, what about this one, Pop? And, we go down the line, and I got to get to the alligator and say, oh, well, because he was telling me where each one was shot, and I'd say, oh, was this in the over in the meadow as well? And he yelled at me, what are you, an idiot? There's no alligators up here. I believe he spanked me after that. If a kid asked me, a 4-year-old asked me if this alligator was killed out, outside, I wouldn't, call him an idiot, but it developed me into who I am today. So, God bless him. God rest his soul. It's just, I'm more progressive, and that's how it goes. You get more progressive each generation. But yeah, they were all still there at the supper club. And, it's a warm place, and it's just nice to get everyone together. The hot dishes were, chef's kiss, incredible. Mwah, loved it. Had some interesting conversation. So, my nephew also had taken a lot of those weed gummies again that night. And he was he cornered an Iraq war veteran, and I overheard a bit of their conversation, and it was not going well. But it was not my problem. I do not have any children. I am a bachelor. Once again, I am divorced. But God, you know what? It was a joy to see all of them, just to spend time with everybody, and to be back in the old supper club. That was a treat. A lot of camo there. which actually, interesting bit of trivia about me, I cannot see camo. I truly cannot see it. Now, it depends. If I'm feeling relaxed, I can generally sort of make out what it is I'm looking at, But you start getting a lot of people in one place wearing camo, or I'm having a particular day. I can have these episodes where just boom, the camo disappears, and I don't mean like what an octopus would do when they camouflage themselves or something like that, but literally the camo print, particularly the green G.I. Joe kind. You wear pants like that, I can't see your legs. I see nothing behind there. It's just this like haze. You disappeared from the waist down. I start sweating and freaking out. It's not good. Somebody comes in and they're a customer, say, and they're let's say it's the flooring store, and they're asking about a certain type of lacquer, and but they're wearing a camo jacket. Yeah, it takes everything in me to not freak out, because he's like, oh hey, yeah, I was just thinking about wondering about the sandalwood, and meanwhile I'm looking at a floating head with these hands that are flopping around, and then a lower body just walking around my store. I don't know where the hands are going next. It's like some kind of Alice in Wonderland thing. At one time I did actually, some guy snuck up on me, just like, excuse me, sir. I turn around and I screamed. Because he's an apparition as far as I can tell in my store. And, there I am. Poor guy is just trying to get help. And there I am screaming in his face. I'm the owner of the... Not ideal. That is not going to be in Zig Ziglar's book of sales. But yeah, I got me wondering, what sort of strange challenges do you have, as a small business owner? Not the run-of-the-mill ones, but, the ones that are, really out there. Or just different from the mainstream. Maybe you're missing a limb. Or maybe you just you're afraid of the parking lot. I knew a guy who was deathly afraid of parking lots. And it turns out it's because his mother was killed in one. But yeah, it got me thinking about these different challenges, and it also got me wondering, where does this come from? Where am I getting this camo thing? I started reading about it, and it said that, people who are colorblind actually are more likely to see camo, because they're not getting confused by the colors, which, led me to believe that perhaps I have a condition, where I can see color too well, and I talked to my doctor about it. He said, he had no idea. He looked at me like I was nuts, which, perhaps I am a little nuts. You gotta be. But, he had no idea. But I was Googling, and that's what I found. And so, I'm thinking maybe I always used to think of myself as being colorblind, a la the great Dr. Martin King. I see myself as a colorblind person, but perhaps I'm blind to non-color blindness in terms of inner reflection, because it appears that maybe I see color too well, because I'm seeing camouflage, just clothes disappear off people's bodies. This is my cross to bear, and I feel as though I'm privileged in many ways. But, this has been a hardship for me. So, tell me about yours. Why don't you leave me a comment, get in touch with me. You can hit me up on Twitter. Why not Landlot? And, give me something about what goes on for you. What makes it hard for you as a small business owner? Maybe you're prone to leaving your keys somewhere. I don't know. Maybe you've got something traumatical that keeps you from moving on. Maybe it's about counting product. Maybe somebody beat you up when you were trying to do inventory. I don't know. Far be it for me to try to imagine what challenges you have out there, but let's talk about it. Let's get into the weeds here. Anything we can do to support each other is important. It's important work, and I want to be there for you, just to be supporting small business, because we really are the lifeblood that's keeping this economy moving and keeping America American, as it were. Just all of us could do a better job of supporting small business. Anything we can do to do so would be critical. So keep that in mind. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Do you have dry skin? You find yourself itching and scratching because winter's got you all itchy and scratchy, and you try to find something around the house, someone in the bathroom and you're fresh out of lotion. Trust me, I've been there. You know what I do in that case? I go to Walgreens, just drive right down the street, and I grab I go to the aisle, and it's all perfectly laid out. It's very clean on the store shelves. You find your lotions, you find your moisturizers, cocoa butter, whatever it is that you use that you prefer. I mean, they've got a little bit of everything there. And that's not all. I'm feeling thirsty. I'm feeling a little dehydrated. I swing in, I grab a Gatorade. For the ladies, you find makeup products. For the elderly, they've got canes, they've got adult diapers, they've got magazines. Most of them still have magazines. They've got a great gift card aisle. I go in there and you open one, it's got a banana on it, and it's I find you appealing. Just, it's silly, but it's, I get a little laugh out of it. But yeah, Walgreens is your one-stop shop for finding all the things you need when you need to go out and get something. There's usually no one in there, a lot of hours of the day, and then other times it's really crowded. There's always someone working just out of sight, and you push a button, because everything's locked up nowadays, and someone appears from around the corner, and you're like, oh, hello. And they're like, what do you need? And you're like, I just need an attachment for my razor. And they're like, oh, okay, let me get the keys. Walgreens has been a trusted source of American products and all the products that you need for decades and decades. They also have a pharmacy. Walgreens, come on by. All right, full disclosure, that was not a real ad for Walgreens. I don't have any sponsors, seeing as this is my first episode, but that was just me auditioning, sort of show advertisers what it is I can do. Just, a testimonial off the cuff. I've, if you live anywhere in the Quad County Shelf area, I've been doing advertisements for years, for all of my different businesses. I'm what you'd call a student of advertising. I pay attention to the ins and outs and the various dynamics of what makes an ad good versus bad, and anything that gets people talking obviously is good. I've noticed some new trends recently in the ad space, particularly when it comes to mobile gaming. I don't know if any of you have ever seen like a mobile gaming ad, but I've really started to notice the trend lately. It's kind of about seeing somebody completely just failing at what it is they're supposed to be doing in a way that makes you mad. I can illustrate sort of what I'm talking about. So there's this one in particular where, it's these cartoon people, and you see this little cartoon play out where it's this woman who catches her boyfriend or her husband or whatever cheating on her, and then suddenly she's out on the streets, and she's got like an orphan with her for some reason. and like a puppy, and it's wintertime and it's freezing. They're in the middle of a blizzard, and they find some abandoned house to go in, and you're like, what kind of game is this? I'm supposed to play something. This is devastating. I'm supposed to play this, but then they get into the house, and there's like no windows, and it's all gross inside there, like some sort of a meth house or something that's been abandoned. And there's a blizzard coming through the window. It's freezing cold. The woman's holding a baby, and the dog is like laying there. It looks like it's going to die. And then you've got like a choice. You can either fix the broken window, or try to start a fire in the fireplace, or you can you can clean up the trash. And then like a hand appears on screen. I'm sitting there, obviously, what are we going to do? We're going to fix the window, right? Because there's a freaking storm of the century coming in. The woman's got an infant, like a papoose all wrapped up, and the child looks like it's dead. And the orphan is like just standing there wearing a nightgown, just shivering. And, it's like, oh my God, lady, fix the window. What are you doing? And instead the little hand appears on screen sort of to select something. And what's it select? It selects to clean up the trash. Like, are you kidding me? I don't care if there's some Cheetos wrappers on the floor. We're dying here. We're dying. And it's no joke. In those temperatures, you could get frostbite or hypothermia in like under 20 minutes. You could die. Oh, baby, jeez. Anyway, so and then it like goes, and then cleans up all the trash and throws it in a trash can. And then for like a brief moment, the lady and the baby and the orphan and the dog are like, they give a little smile, but then it just starts snowing harder on them. And then the hand appears again. It's like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, fix the window. Are you crazy? And then instead they do a thing where it goes over and taps the fireplace. I'm like, why are you bothering to make a fire? Close the window. Get the storm out of the house. And it starts a fire in the fireplace. Guess what? Big surprise. The blizzard blows out the fire, and they're all freezing still. Okay, so the next one, you're like, okay, finally, you're going to fix the darn window. But you know what? It chooses something that wasn't even there. It chooses to paint the walls. And it paints all the walls real bright and pretty. I'm losing my mind at this point. I'm watching thinking, what are you doing? You'd think one of them would die or scream out in pain, but they just keep looking at you like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? We're turning blue. What are you going to do? And I'm at this point, I am done. I have no patience left. And then at the last second, it's like, do you want to fix the window? And the little cartoon hand hovers, like it's supposed to be your hand, hovers over the thing to like the menu to match some things in order to fix the window. And it skips over the one that makes a new window. And instead, it makes a roll of tape, like yellow tape. And it goes, oh, good job. And then it puts it an X over the window to try to, out of tape, to try to tape it together and hold it shut. Guess what? It blows the window open, and then everyone's freezing even worse. And then it says fail, a big red fail button. Oh boy, my blood was boiling. I was watching this. Now I've seen it several times since then, and I just go nuts. It makes me so mad. Why can't the little floating hand person who does this game figure out how to fix it, how to save their lives? It's crazy. And then I realized that's exactly what they want me to think, right? So I download the game and I'm like, yo, give me this scene, let me fix it. I'm gonna save the baby and the orphan and the dog, and just by fixing a window. For goodness sake, what are we doing? And anyway, it's like, welcome to like sunny shores. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess they're doing some setup here. And then it's like, you bought a new cafe. I felt swindled. I started making coffee in the cafe and combining beans with bags and trying to turn them into coffee machines. And people were coming by and saying, oh, this place is a mess. And I just, I started Googling, when do I get to save the family? They just won't let me. And they start having me combining things and groceries to try to make something. Anyway, I don't know. And then it was trying to get me to buy some gems to I didn't buy any, but man, it's, it sucked me in for a few days. I worked on it. Ultimately, I started trying to solve the mystery of why my husband left me. But I never saw a baby or an orphan. I apparently had a daughter who's following me around, drawing pictures while I'm trying to fix my cafe. It wasn't even wintertime. What are you sucking me into here? But it works. People download this stuff and they use it. And, got me thinking about sort of the old tricks that they use in advertising and maybe how could use this idea of making people so mad because you don't know what you're doing because you're just making mistakes and being an idiot. I think it could work. I remember the old ads where there was a guy, it's a furniture store or something. I used to watch the ads growing up and he'd say, if you can't get financing with us, I'll chop off my head. I was watching this as a kid and I was horrified. I didn't know what financing was, but oh my gosh, I hope everybody can get financing because otherwise he's going to chop off his head. I was traumatized, and then it just went back to the show, DuckTales or whatever. I was losing it. And then, they had an ad later on because he kept promising every different ad. Sometimes he's a Ghostbuster, sometimes he's like a turkey for Thanksgiving or whatever. And anyway, he one of the times he kept promising, I'll chop off my head. And I didn't understand it. I still don't understand it, but to this day, why you would make children watch that. But eventually, I guess there was so much public demand to actually see him do it, even though I guess he gives everybody financing, regardless of whether or not they're just complete crooks or they just don't have the means. Anyway, he goes, well, everyone's gotten financing. But since you wanted to see it, here I go. And I was frozen. I couldn't move. And this man, it was, obviously a trick of the camera or whatever. But he got out a giant pair of scissors and he went snip. And as far as I could tell as a kid, I know it's just a trick now, but his head goes flying through the air, like end over end, flying across the thing and just and smashes into something and explodes. And then there's just it says free financing. And I was like, this man is dead. He's dead. And that was Rogers Furniture. And I can't, it worked. I was thinking about Rogers Furniture every night. I couldn't sleep. Just up all night, just wondering about this. I pictured myself being in a Rogers Furniture with the giant scissors, getting my head chopped off. It was awful. But, it really secured the brand in my mind, as I'm sure it did for so many of us. But it got me thinking about, how this new idea of just frustrating people with incompetence would work in an ad. And I was thinking about, maybe, you've got, come on down to my gas station where we take care of all your needs. I say, you can buy snacks, you can buy this. And then, and of course, always fill up the tank. And then just show the guy trying to stick the nozzle into the gas tank and he just keeps missing. And he just keeps smiling at camera, not even looking at what he's doing, trying to stick it in there, going, oops, I'm just pump the gas. it's that easy. And then he starts spraying the gas all over his car on himself, Is that the kind of thing that translates out of the mobile gaming world? And is someone going to see an ad like that and go, oh, come on, buddy, I know how to do that. Just stick the nozzle in the tank. What are you, nuts? Where are you? Do you need to be committed to a mental institution? Yeah. I realize that that's not, that could be, I do apologize for anyone who may have been institutionalized or a loved one. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have used that ableism language. Because I've seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I know it's not a joke. It's not good. It's not okay for that to happen. We just have to support mental health as much as we can. It's an important issue. But anyway, I was wondering, does it work? Does it work? Would somebody show up and go, I'm going to pump, I'll show this idiot. I'm going to pump my gas. And then the owner's going, yeah, you just filled up your tank. My advertising worked. Woo! I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, I don't even know what platforms I'm putting this podcast on. I don't know anything about that. But if there's comments, please comment. Let me know what you think about my idea. Whether or not does this translate for us small business owners over into the real world? I don't know. Leave me your ideas at Why Not Landlot. WHYNOTLANDLOT. That's on Twitter X. Let me know your thoughts. Let's take a quick break. Is there anything better than a trip to McDonald's? For me, the answer is no. I've been going to McDonald's since I was a little kid. I started with Happy Meals, get the little toy, eat your little hamburger, your French fries. Oh, look, I can make something out of the box. It's got special games on the outside. Hey, there's the play place. Hey, Mom, can I go on down the slide? No, not today. We don't have time. We've got to get up to Target to get some stuff. Oh, please, Mom. No, not today. McDonald's has been providing family atmosphere that is second to none from its inception. You know that you need to go there late night when you've got the munchies and you're out with your friends. Swing by on through the drive-thru. Come on, we're open late. Some of the locations are. Some of them are not. Maybe the one by you is. Swing by McDonald's and find out. There's really nothing more iconic than the Big Mac. They've got a special recipe that no one can figure out exactly, but it is well regarded around the world. Over 99 billion served, which is amazing because there's only like 6 billion people in the world. Hey, McDonald's is doing something right. You know that much. It's part of the fabric of our American dream. It's part of the fabric of our American fun. Being young, or hey, maybe when you're old, you go out and have a coffee with your friends in the morning and you say, how you been? It's great to just be sitting here at McDonald's where it's warm and cozy. And now the coffee's better than Starbucks, which is huge. You just can't even imagine. It'd be like if Starbucks started making burgers better than McDonald's. Like, what? That'd be wild. McDonald's, that's the way we do it. Have you tried a Big Mac yet? All right, guys. Yep. Yeah. Once again, that's not a real ad. That was just me sort of auditioning, feeling it out. It's this new sort of podcast thing. You just sort of talk off the cuff, kind of like they do in radio, about, just what you like about a brand, what you don't. I follow McDonald's on Twitter. And I do actually, I follow kind of all the business greats there, or I try to. And I mention them in posts and sort of start conversations with, I've started conversations with like Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, just across the spectrum, Kanye West, Katy Perry, various greats from different endeavors, human endeavors, and I mention them. I sort of throw out my ideas, and none of them have responded yet. I think probably they're looking at follower counts and like thinking, who's this guy? And it's like, well, in a certain place offline, this guy actually knows a thing or two about business. But, you got to be willing to be ignored or told no enough times, which, as small business owners, we all know this. I like to post articles or links to articles that are interesting in the business space. I'd love it if you followed me there at Why Not Landlot, and you can send me your questions about small business, about life, about how you're doing, and about the show. If you got any questions or ideas or thoughts, just send them my way. So yeah, I'm going to have to jet here. This has been Small Business with Mike Landlot. That's me. Be safe out there, everyone. And remember to think global and dream local. Watch out for deer.